it's not just a human being anymore trying to access things. Now it's machines. Can we talk about what different identities we're talking about securing?
The three primary buckets of identity in the workforce enterprise world today are the human identity, the device identity, which applies to your desktop, laptop, your mobile device. Those have an identity built into their, not just the operating systems, but the actual hardware. So everything that is connected to the internet has an identity. Then the third bucket is application, right? So when we think about application, this tool that we're using to do this call with, I need to know what is this application and why am I giving it permission to use these things, and is it going to use them correctly or is it going to use them maliciously? Where application identity is changing today is previously applications were pretty constrained within a set of guardrails, let's say, or a box where, let's say I'm using Microsoft Excel, one of the most popular applications in the world for doing any kind of business. Previously, Excel was only granted access or allowed to run functions within a perimeter of guardrails. It couldn't just go collect other data. That it only processed the data that you put into the spreadsheet, correct? But now, in fact, just recently, it was announced that not only Microsoft's AI, but Claude got permission to put its AI into the Excel worksheet. So now you have an application, Excel, that's now using an agent that is an application, but wants to function like human and wants to be able to assist you. So whether you want to define that as a virtual assistant, a virtual developer, it's another identity that's now baked into this particular application, and it potentially wants to use other resources to do its job. And how are you then going to know, okay, I've created this other employee, this virtual agent, I'm letting it work on this spreadsheet. How do I define and control what things it has access to? And that includes places that you want it to go so that it can do its job its best. But it also means you need to put some sort of controls on it, access controls on it, so that it can't just go wherever it wants to and take your data from your spreadsheet and share it somewhere else. So still three primary buckets. There's potentially basically a fourth bucket of identity that's being defined as we speak in real time, that is around this agentic AI identity, because it has to cross this barrier of being not just an application, because we want it to make decisions and run processes like a human would. And you then need to then create an identity and put ways to verify and trust that identity to go places. We can deliver up to 5 different ways or more of verifying you and separating you to greater than 1 in 300 billion differentiation. Like, that's how unique of a mapping of your identity we can prove out with our systems. It's mostly math that's running behind the scenes, and it's constantly evolving and rotating. It's dynamic access control that can be done invisibly to the user, and yet still map what applications, devices, hard door facility controls, whatever that the business needs to use it for. We're going to be able to extend that to AI identities as well as human identities that we do today.